Hello. Welcome to Fetch. It is Thursday, the 8th of January. After work. Woo! And unlike this morning, you can actually see my face, at least most of it. Excuse me. Today was kind of just a lot. It's not that anything I had to do today at work was difficult. It was just a lot of it all at once, and it kind of burnt me out early. But the women on my team are great, and they helped out, which I am very thankful for. Like, I don't love needing help, but getting help is very helpful, as it were. And with the amount of help I got, I should be in for much smoother sailing definitely tomorrow and next week. So it was enough help to get me ahead, I think, which is delightful. God, River, you are all over my pants. To lint roller before I leave the house. Yeah. So my brain's kind of dead today. No. Which means I'm going to do the awesome thing of trying to read. Good for me. Not good for you, because it's gonna go poorly. But this is the book I was talking about yesterday, Anne Sexton's Love Poems. It is her third novel, or third book of poetry, rather. Or it's her fourth one. The third one she put out, Live or Die, won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Which means, of course, that is not the one I have, because that is not the one that was at the thrift store. But these poems were very, very interesting to me. And I feel like just the more poetry I read, the more that's just in there jingling around for reference, can make all sorts of things that didn't sound right before sound right. Originally published in 1967. This is the 6th printing, copyright 1969. And it starts out with a quote from Yeats. One should say before sleeping, I have lived many lives. I have been a slave and a prince. Many a beloved has sat upon my knees, and I have sat upon the knees of many a beloved. Everything has been, shall be again. Everything that has been, shall be again. Alright, let's see. We'll be kind to myself, and we'll pick one that's only a page long. This is called The Kiss. My mouth blooms like a cut. I've been wronged all year, tedious. Nights, nothing do right, nothing but rough elbows in them, and delicate boxes of Kleenex calling crybaby. Crybaby, you fool. Before today, my body was useless. Now it's tearing at its square corners. It's tearing old Mary's garments off knot by knot, you see. Now it's shot full of these electric bolts. Zing, a resurrection. Once it was a boat, quite wooden, and with no business, no salt water under it, and in need of some paint. It was no more than a group of boards. But you hoisted her, rigged her, she's been elected. My nerves are turned on. I hear them like musical instruments. Where there was silence, the drums, the strings are incurably playing. You did this. Pure genius of work, darling. The composer has stepped into fire. It starts out so strong. My mouth blooms like a cut. That's so evocative. The way that a deep cut, the flesh will kind of peel back and gape. The redness, the lushness. My mouth blooms like a cut. I've been wronged all year. Tedious. Nights. I've been wronged all year. Tedious nights. Nothing but rough elbows in them, and delicate boxes of Kleenex, calling crybaby. Crybaby, you fool. How delightful. I don't know, that's just one example of the poems that are in here. I look forward to reading more. Here, let's give one that I have not read a go. Again and again and again. Sorry, I'm just skimming through it first because it'll make the reading out loud easier. Maybe. Okay. You said the anger would come back, just as the love did. But I have a black look I do not like. See, I don't know exactly how to read like a paragraph like this here. So, like, I do not like is separated by like a line, but then there's also a period. So how does that work in terms of cadence? I have a black look I do not like. It is a mask I try on. I migrate towards it, and its frog sits upon my lips and defecates. It is old. It is also a pauper. I have tried to keep it on a diet. I give it no unition. I don't actually know what that word is. UNCTION. I'll have to look that up. Unition. Like ammunition? Nothing to work with, maybe? Tried to keep it on a diet. There's a good look that I wear, like a blood. Oh, good God. There is a good look that I wear, like a blood clot. I have sewn it over my left breast. I have made a vocation of it. Lust has taken plant in it, and I have placed you and your child at its milk tip. Fetch. Oh, the blackness is murderous, and the milk tip is brimming, and each machine is working, and I will kiss you when I cut up 12 new men, and you will die somewhat, again and again. You said that anger would come back to me just as the love did. I have black look, not light. I don't know, I think I need some time to sit with that one. But this is the second poem. I don't know, I like to read a full book of poetry like in a row. It's fun to skip around and jump between books, but it's nice to read like a work as it was intended. Um, I'm curious about repetition, not only repetition within the same poem, but repetition throughout the work. So like that was the second poem I've read in here that uses blood clot as imagery. Because I feel like I use similar words or metaphors often, and I don't know if that makes things too samey or if that makes things cohesive, you know? But, I guess also while I'm here, what is this? The Jinhao X750. Probably X100 750. Highly recommend. Cheap fountain pen under like $10, or it is $10. I will link it below. It was an impulse buy when I got my 2026 planner, and I really like it. It's not the smoothest right, but it's solid and it's got a good heft to it, even without the cap. I don't like to post my pens, so I don't write with them like this. It feels really back heavy. I prefer to just hold the cap in my other hand, but it's still got some heft to it, and it's got little sparkles, which is delightful. Okay. Pen pocket, check, so I don't drop it in the wood pile. Because then I wouldn't get it back. Alright. So I read some of Anna Sexton's poems last night, and then tried writing some. And this first bit, I think, is going to be a separate poem. I want to develop it separately. So I have coax me into puddles. I sigh, I drip, I yearn. There's something there, and there will be more there. But right now, it is a couplet. But still real rough. This is what my pages look like, in case you're curious. I do like just regular lined paper when I am working on a poem. So in my general process, I will take just a notebook and go through my journals and write down the journal entries that I want to work on. As opposed to trying to write a poem in my journal, it gets kind of chaotic with the junk journal style and the paper, and trying to find... It's not a great format for refining, that's for sure. But I do love writing on the random pages, and I tend to rewrite the poems that I will read for an open mic night in my journal. But they're already finished, so it's easier to make them clear and cohesive looking, and easy to read from. Alright, but let's... dirt from Fetch in my freaking book. Okay. Titled TBD. Delicate mountaintops, passed back and forth through gentle clouds. Sun tantalizing, exposed rose stone. Prestigious manipulations. Blood surges to melt the frigid peaks. Claim the summit, stifle the pulse, Seasons cycle as time halts. River swells, supple gorge. It's definitely not done. What is here needs working, and I feel like the ending is not satisfactory at this point. But, I don't know, we'll work on it. We'll see. See, the problem with filming on my phone is that I can't look at things that are on my phone while I'm filming. And this is the first stuff I've written in this book, so I don't have anything else to read. I suppose... Alright, let's read another poem. Sure. This is in celebration of my uterus. Everyone in me is a bird. I am beating all my wings. They wanted to cut you out, but they will not. They said you were immeasurably empty, but you are not. They said you were sick unto dying, and they were wrong. You are singing like a schoolgirl. You are not torn. Sweet weight in celebration of the woman I am, and of the soul of the woman I am, and of the central creature and its delight. I sing for you. I dare you to live. Hello, spirit. Hello, cup. Fasten cover. Cover that does not contain. Hello to the soil of the fields. Welcome, roots. Each cell has a life, and there is enough here to please a nation. It is enough that the populace owns these goods. Any person, any commonwealth would say of it. Any person, any commonwealth would say of it, it is good this year that we have many plants again, and think forward to a harvest. A blight has been forecast and has been cast out. Many women are singing together of this. One is in a shoe factory cursing the machine. One is at the aquarium tending a seal. One is dull at the wheel of her Ford. One is at the toll gate collecting. One is tying the cord of a calf in Arizona. One is straddling a cello in Russia. One is shifting pots on a stove in Egypt. One is painting her bedroom walls moon color. One is dying but remembering a breakfast. One is stretching on her mat in Thailand. One is wiping the ass of her child. One is staring out the window of a train in the middle of Wyoming. And one is anywhere, and some are everywhere, and all seem to be singing, although some cannot sing a note. Sweet weight in celebration of a woman I am. Let me carry a 10-foot scarf. Let me drum for the 19-year-olds. Let me carry bowls for the offerings, if that is my part. Let me study the cardiovascular tissue. Let me examine the angular distance of meteors. Let me suck at the stems of flowers, if that is my part. Let me make certain tribal figures, if that is my part. For this thing that the body needs, let me sing. For the supper, for the kissing, for the correct yes. I feel like so there are 4 stanzas in this poem, all of different lengths. And I feel like when I write a poem, even if I break it out into stanzas, pairs of lines, things like that, I feel like I'm more likely to write a poem that is just one of these things as opposed to 4 things cohesively brought together. And I'm fascinated by the section that is many women are singing together of this. One is in the shoe factory cursing the machine. One is in the aquarium. One is dull. One is at the toll. One is trying. One is straddling. One is shifting. One is painting. One is dying. One is stretching. One is wiping. One is staring. But I like that it speaks of the individuals and of all the experiences. One is anywhere, and some are everywhere, and all seem to be singing, although some cannot sing a note. I enjoy the women being like a positive collective as opposed to adversaries. It's a nice sentiment. And one that I feel like isn't always cultivated. Interesting. So, I guess I'll probably bring this with me tonight and read more. There's a handful of these that are just like, let me go to the index. They're not listed in the index. What is this then? Where the titles just say Ah, 18 Days Without You is what the poem is called. And then it's a series of poems, December 1st, December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 18 days. Ooh, 9th is long. Interesting. And that's how the book ends with that. Well, I'll read that tonight. Let's see. Alright, so this says, in 1967, Anne Sexton won the Pulitzer Prize for her 3rd volume of poems, Live or Die, a collection reviewed widely and intensely, a fierce, terrible, beautiful book, the voice of the human being seen the nightmare and the dreams that is man. Some of the most exciting and memorable literary work that has been produced in this country. One critic spoke particularly of the power he felt beneath the excitement of those poems. The very word tenderness wings through the book. Love has focused on that source of experience. Now, does that refer to this book of poems or Love or Die? One critic spoke particularly of the power he felt beneath the excitement of those poems. What is those poems? Anyways, there are 25 love poems. They can be read as a story of a single lover or a single romance which begins with the joyous rebirth described in the opening poem, The Touch. But there is in each poem a confrontation with humanity by a woman who cannot train her eyes off the real face of that humanity, nor her powers of insight off the most seasonal cycles. She quotes a Yeats essay, "Everything that has been shall be again," bringing a reader's attention to the themes of departure, return, recurrence that provide the unique quality and unity in progression. It is Anne Sexton's understanding of what all lovers share, seen this time in the specifics of romance, that carries her work to the fullest limits of poetry and into the realm of great literature. Alright, well, and photograph by T. Plumbaum. Thank you, T. Plumbaum. When I got that at the thrift store, it got rung up as a children's book. I didn't say nothing. Alright. I need to get some intense fetch going and then get myself going. I've got to run to the store to pick up a lemon and a prescription. And then I've got dinner tonight with my friends. So I hope you had a day that made you smile at least once. And I will speak to you hopefully soon.